looking forward to the time when there's someone else pushing the buttons. I'm just sitting here smiling and saying, hello, everyone. And we're shy of a number of people here. So I'm hoping that more people show up, but even if
Forward to
it's
the time when there's
just
someone
us,
else.
um, we will be we will go through some very interesting things together, I hope. Um, and regardless of how many people are on, I'm going to start in 2 minutes to see where we are. Um, my Zoom is asking if I'm playing music, and that's because it's listening to the cars outside. So let me get up and close the window. I actually, in the last 10 minutes, I know what I wanted to say today, but I also remembered that there were a few uh hmm, I don't know if Zoom picks Thursdays as its day to add new buttons to my Zoom screen, but my Zoom is doing things that I've not ever asked it to do. So um I'm hoping everything is going well here. Um, hmm. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let the other couple of people who just signed in, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to honor those who came on time, and I want to move us forward. So, to do one more thing. Um, I have, as I've told you before, two monitors, this one and then that one over there. And I think I need three or four more monitors to get everything in front of me. Um, However, we're going to just go without everything in front of me. Um, and I am going to say hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest of our Catalyst meditations, our pre-talks for our Catalyst meditations. As I usually do, I am spotlighting this part of the recording. And today we're going to talk about something that is tricky to talk about, and that's about our present and our future. It's tricky to talk about it because we don't have a when we're talking about the future, we fall into the our normal state. If our normal state is fearful, we fall into fearful talk. If our normal state is angry, we fall into angry talk. If our normal state is I'm just zoned out, then you'll talk about golf or whatever your zone out is. Um, I pick on golf a lot because I don't understand it. Um, so what I want us to do is figure out how we can talk about things differently. As I've said, I've been doing this, I've been talking about this for about 40 years. This day that has come on us is not a surprise by any stretch of the imagination. Um, we've been warned, we've been encouraged, we've been cajoled, and we just kind of keep going on with what we're going on. Mainly because we've got leadership that has been doing that for the longest time, just continuing on with whatever they feel like doing. Um, Looking for an advantage for themselves without recognizing that by trying to take this advantage for themselves, they are risking my future. They're risking your future. They're risking the future of all beings. And that's the way they seem to want to play this game. Um, we can use difficult times to inspire us, not to make us fearful. And whenever I say that, I fall back on the words of Abraham Lincoln, and I'm going to share some of those words with you. He was addressing Congress, and he said this. He said, "The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present." He was talking about the Civil War that was threatening to basically divide and destroy the country. We are talking about the transformations that are dividing our world and threaten our entire world and threaten human existence. Humans will not destroy the world, but humans can put a big dent in it, but we can definitely destroy ourselves. So Abraham Lincoln said, "The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. Think anew, act anew." Abraham Lincoln was talking about consciousness. We must disenthrall ourselves. Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. We will be remembered in spite of ourselves. Even we here, like right now, right here, hold the power and bear the responsibility. We shall nobly save or meanly lose the last best hope of earth. Now, I don't remember the first time I heard those words. I was a young teenager, and it stirred me then, and it stirs me now. Um, I'm talking about our words now because words are meaningful and words um, can can carry all of us through, or our words can deaden us, or our words can make us fearful. So you by default, we are either going to be leaders or misleaders. And there's an awful lot of people out there who want to mislead us. The president and all of his supporters, their goal is to mislead us. All the people who are opposing him, they just want to mislead us in another direction. They only want to pander to our fears, both sides. Um, we deserve better than that, and therefore we have to become better than that, and therefore we have to be the ones that hold um, the high ground. And we have to hold the high ground and not be afraid. So I want to share with you some words. And you've seen these words before, I certainly hope. I don't think there's anybody new on the line right now. And I should look over at the live stream, but I can't do that and talk at the same time. But um, um, we can create a world that works for all living beings. We can do that. And the reason I say we can do that is that I just said it. By saying it, we make it real in this reality. If you don't like those words, if for some reason it's too flowery for you, or you want to have it said a different way, then William McDonough said, "How do we love the children of all species for all time?" Now, think about that as if that was our national and global policy. We want to love all of our children. And I'm not talking about our human children only. I'm talking about loving all children of all species, and not for the next election cycle, not for the next time I'm in office, but for all time. Where would we place our dollars? Where would we place our research? What would we be doing if that were our goal? If you don't like either one of those, how about my friend Mark Anielski, who says we can create an economy of enduring happiness, an economy that's based on love. Okay, not money. Money might be part of it in some way, but we can have a basic economy that is based on love. Now, those are the kinds of words that ought to inspire us. Those are the kinds of words that ought to um, lift us up. Those are the kinds of words that can make or break the notion um, of who we are. Those are the kinds of words, and this is interesting. I think it's interesting. These are the kinds of words that can inspire us. And by inspire us, what I mean is there are times when I'm doing a talk or I'm on a stage, or and if I'm doing a talk, I know what I'm going to say, and I got the slides up and I'm doing all this other stuff. And then I will see um, my statement that we can create a world that works for all living beings. And it stops me. It stops me. It takes a while for me to get started again. It's like those are big words, okay? And what it does is it makes those words make me stand a little bit taller, a little bit straighter, a little bit more focused in my heart. And that little bit of energy leaks out to other people and helps them to stand a little bit straighter also. And by doing these things, um, we get to be different kinds of people. Um, and we have to ask ourselves these questions. We have to ask ourselves the question, if that's not your vision, if creating a world that works for all is not your vision, it's not your goal, what is your goal? What are your visions? Okay. Um, and I had somebody say, well, my goal is to stop Trump. I want to do everything I can to stop Trump. I said, yeah, what if he dies right now? Like 5 minutes from now, he drops dead. What's your goal in the world at that point? Okay. And if you got to go searching for one, then you didn't have a goal in the first place. Um, so what is your vision? What is your willpower? Where do you spend your willpower? Um, what are your values? You can, if what you have are anti-values, okay. If Trump says up, you say down, okay. If Trump says right, you go left. If um, if those are your values, then you don't have any values. If you say that making more money is your value, you have no values. Money is just a measurement of something, okay. Um, that's like me saying, right now I'm 6 feet tall, so my goal in life is to become 6 feet one. Okay. I think you need to think about those things better, and I think you need to think about those things differently. Okay. Um, so um, I think we explored at one point in time why I don't use the phrase, I want to make the world a better place. Um, that is, again, is a statement of a non-vision. Anyone who walks outside, picks up one piece of trash, picks up one cigarette butt, and says, I just made the world a better place. Well, that's number one, it's true, but number two, that's a really, really tiny goal. I wouldn't call that even a goal. Um, and having goals that have nothing to do with how the people of the world interact with you um, is, like I said, right next to not having a goal. So this is the thing that I think we did a talk on. If we haven't, then I will be glad to do one on in the future. Um, on the what I call our 12 global challenges. Um, yeah, and if we didn't, I'm gonna share these with you. I do a 2-hour workshop on these. So we're gonna spend exactly a minute and a half on this because y'all will get it in no time flat. So the notion of the 12 global challenges is something that comes from my work with Dr. A.T. Aryaratne in Sri Lanka. Um, he had come up with something that he called the village needs. And when I read it, I realized, well, that this may be, and these may be needs of a person who's a villager in Sri Lanka, but these are also, we can state these as universal human needs. For example, when he talked about energy, he talked about it in terms of a villager having enough wood to cook their food. Now, and you live in the tropics, you don't need a heater in your house. The last thing in the world you need is a heater. Air conditioning would be nice. Um, but so together, he and I took the 10 village needs, and we changed the language so that anybody on the planet can see that these things are their needs. Um, what you need in terms of health, and you're a villager in China or um, is very, very different from what you need for health here. But everybody needs health care. Um, and we added a couple, and I literally don't remember what we added. When I collaborate with someone, I'm not thinking about this part is mine and this part is yours, etc. Um, and so we added a couple of steps and made it to 12 global challenges. Now, I've actually looked at these in terms of paradigms, and I don't have time to talk to you about what I mean by that. But we need to look at how do we do these as paradigm shifts. And I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to speed us up a little bit. Um, and I am now going to share again. And so we have a paradigm that says that our lives are basically run by large scale, mega scale, industrial corporate paradigms. I think that's a bad idea. I think what is a good idea is when we can have human scale activities. When when human beings learn how to actually run our lives again. I can spend about 45 minutes on that statement, and we're going to move right along. Um, we can evolve ourselves past a scarcity paradigm where all of our thoughts are governed by scarcity. And we can live our lives from an abundance paradigm. There's an abundance of energy, there's abundance of resources. We just have to manage them differently. We can get rid of the industrial paradigm and we can accept a craft paradigm where not only are we looking at function, we're also looking at beauty and we're also looking at qualities that the industrial paradigm um, dismisses. Um, we can move from what I call the cancer paradigm of constant growth. The only thing that in our environment that grows constantly is our society and cancer. And our society is a cancer on our earth. And we can move to a sustainability paradigm. We can move from extravagance, luxury, leisure, and waste into into what I call elegant simplicity, that we can live very simple lives, but they can be very abundant and elegant. And for those of you who know about the Shakers were around what, a couple hundred years ago. Um, their everything in their lives was simple. They wanted the simplicity was the model of their lives, and everything they made is just um, um, close to perfect. A shaker chair is well, I if I diverge, I will not get to the end of my list. I will not get to the catalyst meditation, and I will have failed for the day, and I'm not going to do that. So let's keep going. Um, we can move from a toxic paradigm to a healthful paradigm. We can move to a paradigm where we are controlled and we are regulated. Um, and it doesn't want to come up and stay. To a paradigm where we are all participatory. Um, from artificial and synthetic to natural and organic. From soul deadening to soul lifting, that we support spiritual healing. We can move from looking at efficiency measured by money. And when you get to the issue of efficiency measured by money, you become very efficient, which is our healthcare system right now is very efficient and it's deadening, um, to being creatively inefficient, where our efficiency is measured by life, not measured by money. Um, from this weird notion that somebody said some years ago, time is money. Time is time and money is money. That's two different things. And I can spend my time and I can spend my money. To go from life destroying to life affirming and supporting. So, this is the kind of way we can think about our world. This is also the kind of way we can talk about our world. So when somebody says, well, time is money, I said, no, no, it's not money. Time is just time. Money is money. And we can do the things that we need to do in our world from a different point of view. I'll tell you a really quick story, then I'm going to tell you a slightly longer story, and then we're going to be done. Um, um, if you have been to Europe or and through Europe, if you were lucky, you got a chance to go through Singapore, which is a major hub of major gateway into Asia. Um, did I say Europe or Asia? I meant Asia. Um, and if you've been through the Singapore airport, I consider um, my stopover in Asia, if I can spend hours in the Singapore airport, that's time well spent. The Singapore airport is run by people who say um, uh, the people in the airport are captives. Okay, they don't have a choice in terms of whether or not they want to be in the airport. They want to be somewhere else. So while instead of treating them like captives, we should treat them like guests. And we should spend whatever money we need to spend to do that. Money is not the issue. The issue is that the person who gets on their plane to go somewhere else should be a little bit happier than when they landed. And you start thinking of the things that people can do to and with each other to make each other happy. Um, I'll just give you one tiny little example in the Singapore airport, and that is they have foot massage machines every, I don't know, 500 feet or so. And you can just kind of sit down, slip your shoes off, and put your feet in, push the button for free, and get a foot massage. And you could say, and you feel better, and it costs them like, 10 cents worth of electricity, maybe not that. And you get a sense of, oh, whoever put this here likes me. And that is something that we can build an entire society around. Now, the way they compensate for that is that um, they don't they've got high tax rates, they've got all sorts of stuff that gets the money back. Um, but they take it from people who actually can afford to pay it. Um, Now, just saw that we are starting to fill up from the people who are here for the Catalyst meditation. So I need to put a hard stop on that, what I was talking about. We'll get a chance to explore that some more in the informal discussion at the end of the Catalyst meditation. I am right now going to um, turn off audio and video for a couple of seconds so that we can switch our gears, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, looks like we are coming back to our um we're just about to start, and I am going to say hello everyone, and welcome to our weekly Catalyst meditation. Welcome to those who have joined us today. Welcome to those who are following on the outline. And I don't see anybody following on the outline. Welcome to those who have been with us in the past on the Catalyst meditation, but can't join us today. We start with our normal centering activity, and our centering activity is done with a breathing, so, synchronizing our breathing. And so I'm going to ask us to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and if we can continue with our silent centering for a couple more minutes. And if we can come back to our mutual center, we can continue by the setting of our intentions. As the imaginal cells within a chrysalis come together to form the butterfly out of the disintegrated caterpillar cells, we come together to form a gateway for the meta-consciousness of the mind of Gaia. We act for ourselves personally, and we act as aspects of Gaia, of Mother Earth. Holonic consciousness is a fundamental aspect of the universe. Every atom in the universe holds consciousness. It is always with us. We are acknowledging that now because many humans have forgotten and many humans have been in denial. We act to reawaken our connection to Mother Earth for the benefit of all living beings. And we acknowledge our connection to all beings. This connection includes all humans, including those who have gone before and those who are to come. All beings who thrive on and in the air. All beings who thrive on and in the water. All beings who thrive on and in the earth. All beings who thrive on and in our bodies. All beings that thrive on light, the beings of the plant realms. All meta beings, including the earth as a living meta being, air as a living meta being, fire as a living meta being, water as a living meta being, all colony beings, meta beings that are collections of solo beings. And this includes murmurations, colonies, schools, hives, pods, flock, herd, migrations, harmonies, swarms, and other forms of colony beings, and all other forms of consciousness, known and unknown to us. Having acknowledged all of these beings, we now blend all of our energies. May all who are part of Mother Earth be connected to and in perfect health, harmony, and balance with each other and with Mother Earth for the common good. We are in perfect physical health, harmony, and balance. We are in perfect emotional health, harmony, and balance. We are in perfect relational health, harmony, and balance. We are in perfect mental health, harmony, and balance. We are in perfect spiritual health, harmony, and balance. We are in perfect holonic health, harmony, and balance. We are in perfect spatial and temporal health, harmony, and balance. We are in the perfect place, at the perfect time, in the perfect conditions, and with the perfect beings. We energize when we set our declarations. We declare that Mother Earth is the ultimate governing principle, the way that humans govern their behavior on this planet, replacing all other forms of human governance. This is the way our behavior aligns with the will of the earth. We declare that humans are one family, one species, one destiny. Separations are illusory. We declare that humans are colony beings. We deepen and expand our human murmurations, our human harmonies. We declare that Mother Earth is providing all necessary resources to achieve the vision of a world that works for all living beings. We declare that we are creating a political and economic system where all beings participate in it, all beings are in relationship with it, all beings own it, all beings benefit from it, and all beings govern it for the common good. We will now meditate within this holonic energy, within the energy of Mother Earth. We'll be listening for messages that we may receive that we can bring back to others. We'll be making any personal requests that we may have. And we'll be deepening and expanding our human experience of our human murmurations, our human harmonies. And we'll be doing this for the next 8 to 10 minutes, starting now. If we can come back to our mutual common center, we'll conclude our catalyst meditation with our inclusivity mantra. May I be well. May I be secure. May I be happy. May you be well. May you be secure. May you be happy. May we be well. May we be secure. May we be happy. And may all beings be well. May all beings be secure. May all beings be happy. And so it is, and so it shall be. And thank you for joining us. So felt deep for some reason. So thank you for your deepening energy. And as I usually say afterwards, if you got a cup of something, you should pick it up and have a sip. The first part, our pre-meditation talk is me going blah, 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 blah. So this is the part where we get to go blah, 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 blah. Um, we can follow the theme or themes that was set in the in our pre-meditation talk. You can introduce new themes if you wish. If you want to get recognized, there's a number of ways to do that. You can go to your React button at the bottom of your Zoom panel if you are attending on Zoom, and you can leave you can do a raise your hand, and I will recognize your hand raise. You can wave your meat hand around, and you can also leave a chat message, and I'm opening up my chat box, and I see that Greg has already left something. Since I'm trying to read it, I might as well put my glasses on and go ahead and read it. I was talking about the U.S. healthcare system, and I used the word efficient. And he said, I just want to disagree that U.S. healthcare is efficient, although I think I know what you mean. Our healthcare system spends so much money because the system requires adversarial discussion about who pays. That's one of many reasons that the healthcare system is as expensive as it is. And the system is amazingly efficient for the people it's efficient for, and that's the people who make money off of your health. They make tons and tons and tons of money off of your health. It's not efficient in any other way. It's definitely not efficient in actually producing health. So we are not in disagreement on that. I'm going to do something really quickly. I'm looking at the live chat in the live stream. Um, and I'm not seeing any chat there. I don't want to ignore you. Um, and I want to, I guess, oh, looks like she's gone already. Uh, but Deborah was with us again, and she says, I'm now in Anaheim. Hmm, why did the recording stop? Um, okay. I'm not touching anything. It's doing its thing here. Um, anyway, Deborah's was with us, but now she's not with us. I'm not seeing any other microphones going on. I'm not seeing any other um, uh, arms, hands, etc., waving around. And so I am except for Karen's microphone just went live. So what's up, Karen?
I'm really enjoyed the pre-talk, and this is helping me kind of begin to kind of see, oh, what vision or what future, you know what I mean? Because I have been kind of stuck in yeah, how do we leap forward to a new um way of thinking or verbalizing or even just making comments to people, in terms of like uh throwing out a different way of how we could be together. And I know you were giving us some stories and you didn't have a chance to finish. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
love I love the story about the Singapore airport. I'm gonna have to go to Asia just so I can hang out in the Singapore airport and uh get a foot massage or see what else happiness, how they've set things up so that people leave a little more happy.
Um, if you it can be overwhelming. I mean, it's like we want you to be happy. So, I mean, you could spend time meditating in the orchid garden, or you could spend time walking around in the butterfly garden. They have a butterfly garden. It's it's insane. It's like they have full-time orchid tenders. People who the only job that they have is to tend the orchids in the Singapore airport. Or to take care of the butterflies in the Singapore airport. Um, like these big uh, institutional buildings have institutional air conditioning, and the um, outtake, not there's it produces tons of heat. Okay, and they put it on the roof. They just heat up the atmosphere with it. They said, butterflies like heat. So why don't we just take that outlet and make it into a butterfly garden? And you're walking through it, and the butterflies are landing on you, and you're taking pictures of the butterflies, and this is just with waste energy. Somebody just like thought it through. Um, okay, one more thing, and that this isn't the story I was going to tell you. The story I was going to tell you, I'm going to remember in a second. Um, but it should be on this sheet over here. Um, it's not, but well, I'll figure it out. But the what do you see people doing in an airport? You see lots and lots of people trying to go to sleep. And in every airport, they purposely make the seating arrangement so that you can't lie down. The seats are designed in such a way that you can't lie down. So in Singapore, they put cots in. They have these sleeping cots. They cut off the overhead lighting so that you can go to sleep. On the sleeping cots, they have these timers that can be set for anywhere from 1 hour to 12 hours to make sure you can get enough sleep. And it's free. They don't charge you anything for it. Um, okay, one of my favorite places on earth. Hang on. I just remembered what the other thing was. Um, okay. I want to reacquaint you. There are a couple of people who are still on, who are not on the main talk. But I talked about emerging paradigms, and I'll go through them real quick. Human scale, an abundance paradigm, a craft paradigm, a sustainability paradigm, um, elegant simplicity, a healthful paradigm, participatory, natural and organic, creatively inefficient, soul lifting, time is time, money is money. Don't confuse the two. Life affirming and supporting. Now, we there will be people who say, oh, all that stuff is airy fairy. People can't live like that. People don't live like that. And I will say, yes, we do. And we have an example of that in the Amish communities that exist in the main concentration being in central Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Dutch country, but they're all over this country and they have really cool beards. For those of you who know me, I have beard envy. This is as much as I can do. I try to pull it out, and it doesn't look like that. Not only cool beards, they have cool hats. I mean, this is so if you have a beard like that, you got to have a hat like that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop joking around. Um, because this is a real experiment. It's just an experiment in how people live. It's just an experiment that's been going on for 330 years. And I think it's almost time to declare it a success. Now, I am not saying that people have to become Anabaptists. I'm not saying that people got to wear long beards. I'm not saying that, oh, I am saying you should help build your neighbor's barn. You get a free barn. Just think, I mean, and everybody spends a little in order for them to get the free barn. Um, and this has been going on sustainably for over 330 years. And um, it is larger. It's actually growing, but it's growing sustainably. And so if you want an example of what a sustainable community can look like, there you go. I mean, I think that can do it. Um, and again, I don't want us to confuse the religious aspect with their cultural aspect. I don't want us to confuse the religious aspect with their spiritual aspect. There's clearly something if you've ever been to the Pennsylvania Dutch country, there's something spiritual going on there, and it's not their religion. I'm sorry, I'll take that back. There's something spiritual going on there, and it is in concert with their religion. But my belief is that the religious part is not necessary, that any group of people can do this, as long as you are aware that a spiritual world exists. Now, I just was thinking about this recently because it came up recently. Um, and um, somebody was asking me about my personal religious beliefs. I tend not to talk about that, not because I am ashamed or anything like that. It's just that it's not. I don't. It's not as relevant as a whole lot of other things. Um, I am a believing person. What I believe is a combination of what I think is just about every religion on the planet. Somebody just described it as described the same thing, and he described it as his faith is fruit salad. Um, he said every religion has some viable fruit, and every religion also has some rotten fruit. And so he said, this particular religion has two really good ripe apples and four, rotten apples. Let's take the ripe apples, say thank you, and put it over here as part of your fruit salad. Somebody else has a couple of ripe bananas and then they have a ton of rotten bananas. Just say thank you for the ripe ones, and you put that in your fruit salad. And you cut them all up and you mix it up, and you've got a really nice fruit salad, and you've left all the rotten stuff. Um, uh, if a person believes that their religion doesn't have any rotten fruit in it, I will invite them to pick up a history book. Um, um, anyway, so that's what I do, and I want to uh, I wind up talking with people who are very different from me. And in order to talk to them, I have to talk to them using the language that they can use, that they have access to. Um, Many people believe that their religion is the only religion in the world. There are no other religions. Like you are either a Southern Baptist, or you are a heretic, or you are in league with the devil. Um, and that's all there is. And helping that person see that the world is bigger than their experience is really, really interesting. You have to walk them through it in a very careful way. And I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to do that, and I've learned how to do it because I think that that's important, but only because I think it's important. Okay, I am waiting for another microphone to go hot or another person to wave meat hands around or whatever they want to do. And maybe we wind up shop early because we don't have that. I don't want to press you. Um, if we're done, we're done. But I do want to say one other thing about the Pennsylvania Dutch country. Um, how many of you have experienced the Pennsylvania Dutch country? Um, and I'm going to see if I can get, um, I'm looking at the react button, and there are a number of thumbs up that you could put. I thought I saw Greg's thumb up. Um, so, and I see Becky waving her meat hand around. So, um, uh, I am. So maybe it's Becky and I. Okay. So I have a story to tell you about one of my trips to the Pennsylvania Dutch country, but I see Karen, um, you have a question there that I'm going to ask you to ask um, live to make sure that I understand your question.
You were talking about current paradigms,
Hmm.
and you had talked about human scale activities
Hmm.
and that you know, going from the current paradigm to a new paradigm would be humans living our lives again.
Um, hmm. I think I said something different.
Oh,
Uh, I don't remember what I said. But that's why I'm glad I've got slides here so I can go and look at my slide again. Um, mhm. Let's just punch it up and see what it says. Um, mhm. And I'll punch it up so that you can actually see it. How about that? Um, okay. So you'll stop me
I think
when.
it was the first one.
Okay. Human scale. Da, 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 da. Um, yeah, so 100 years ago, 100 years ago, let's be safe and say 200 years ago, um, we had ways of dealing with our world that human beings could comprehend and understand. Um, we um, yeah, if you needed a frying pan, you went to the blacksmith and they got some ore, they figured out how to heat it up, they made the frying pan and they know how to make the frying pan. They could teach their children how to make the frying pan, etc. Um, if you needed a dress sewn, you went to the what was the name of it? The milliner. I think it was a milliner. Um, if you needed um, a new wagon wheel, you went to the wagon wheel dude. He had a better name than that. And that's how you lived your life. It was on a human scale. With the Industrial Revolution, things got really, really big. And therefore, and complex. No one has the smelting furnace that can melt 20 tons of steel. So you don't have that ability anymore. But that ability's gotten beyond us, and so we don't have the um, we don't have the ability to uh, design things by human scale anymore. We uh, we don't have um, You think about even your food. Um, okay, since I am now considered ancient history, I'll give you some of my ancient history here. I remember when I was a kid, um, we would go to, if you wanted meat, you went to the Roxy Meat Market, and they would carry these carcasses, animal carcasses, cow carcasses, pig carcasses, right through the front door into their cold storage, and they'd cut it up right in front of you. And we knew where meat came from. It wasn't wrapped in cellophane. These carcasses would be bleeding as they're carrying it through. So they put sawdust down to absorb the blood, and it has a smell. And whenever I smell blood, I can say, I know what that is, and I know where I know that from. Um, Children nowadays have no idea where real food comes from. Um, and they are the less for that. But I saw something the other day, and I'm going to try to get my history going here. Mhm, mhm. And I am it's pretty amazing. Um, okay. It's only so they do a really good job at YouTube putting up um uh things that you need to see again. But there are times when you can't find it, and this is one of those times, and you can't find it. I'm going to keep looking for a bit, and um, oh, this is not the one I was looking for. Um, but I'll show you anyway. This is going to be like 2 or 3 minutes. Um, and I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to show you this. Share. Do. Um, and there's some reading you have to do at the bottom of it. Um, I'm going to not do the sound right now. So it's a little bit of it. Um, this is a steel mill run by a family in Pakistan, and they are making huge steel steel works. And he says at the end, most of them are illiterate. They've never gone to school for steel making. They don't know, they know what to do because they've watched their fathers and uncles, etc., do this for who knows how long. And they are wearing slippers. OSHA has never been to that, been to the steel mill. Um, and they can do big, intricate work um, without being huge. Okay. Um, and I'm gonna fast forward this thing. Mm, Actually, this is not the one I was thinking of. But still, this is really, really big work that we would have million-dollar machines doing. And this is just regular human beings that know what they're doing. Okay. Um, I don't know what they're making, but it is really, really big. Um, I am going to stop this here. Um, and I'm going to go look for the other one. Um, um, in the other one, just in case I can't find it, in the other one, he's talking. This guy, the person who's showing all this, is talking about um, the young people who are doing this steel work are illiterate. They can't read and write. Um, to do really great work, you don't need to, in their world, you don't need to read and write. You just need to be good at what you do. And I can't find it. And I'm going to go through two more. Ah, guess what I just found? Um, Yay, he found it. So this is a different steel making operation. And um, this is, they're making a ship's propeller by throwing this scrap metal into a bucket and fire it up and uh, at any point in time, they could set themselves on fire. I love that these got these little rags to keep the radiant heat at bay. Okay. Um, and I'm going to show you that last piece again. Okay. When they pick it up, okay, they've got this bar that grabs the bucket, and then they take the bar, turn it upside down, and now they can carry it. Okay, and it's like it's simple. I have no idea what they're doing there, but it's really simple, but it's amazingly complex at the same time. Um, so um, we would have motors and pulleys and hoists and stuff like. They got young guys lifting stuff up, and they're pouring the steel by pouring the steel. Um, since this is so important, I'm not going to say anything over it because I might make a mess up. I've seen this a couple of times, but they might mess up. Okay, I'm going to. Oh, this is also an important part. Um, I, the one thing that they've got plenty of. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the lifting part.
Wow, great work. These factory workers made a perfect propeller. There are many factories here that make propellers for large ships. They are tireless workers and they are not highly educated but very talented. Good luck to these hard workers.
So that's how you make a ship's propeller. Um, I can't do that. I can't even learn how to do that. They are learning how to do that from the people on the work site with the beards, the long gray beards, and then the guys with the short beards are learning from the guys with the long beards, and the guys that are just doing the lifting are learning from the guys with the short beards, and it gets done. Okay. This is what I'm talking about in which book am I? In Birthing the Nation of Gaia, when I talk about us working as a colony, we can do anything we want to do as long as we're willing to do it together, as long as we're willing to share the results of it. Okay. So that, okay, I've got to get something here. Hang on. Here we go. Um, as long as we are willing to uh, share in the burden, but also share in the um, rewards. Say one thing, and then Karen wants to say something else, and I guess everybody else's microphone is frozen today. Um, or she shut you out. She's figured out a way to kill everybody else's microphone here. Um, so remember, this is what we say in the Declaration. We declare that we're creating a political and economic system where all beings participate in it, and they were all participating. All beings are in relationship with it, and everybody was in relationship to that ship's propeller, whether you were heating the metal up, whether you were pouring the metal, whether you were dropping the mold, whether you're picking the mold up. I mean, everybody was in relationship. All beings own it. I bet everybody in that operation has the same DNA and have been in that operation with the same DNA for hundreds of years. All beings benefit from it, and all beings govern it for the common good. Now, if we operate it like that, we would not have, for example, Amazon for one guy to have so much money. He's building spaceships and he builds the world's largest yacht, and he can't think of how to spend as much money as he has. And the Amazon workers that bring my packages to me are running around being paid. I mean, they're paid um, not bad, but considering how much money is in the system, they're not being paid at all. And so we can create the political and economic system where we're all in relationship with each other. Okay, Karen, you've got the floor.
I used to work in a steel mill and I appreciate the fact that they had cranes and things. And as part of the labor gang, I didn't have to uh
Pick it up.
well, I shovel coke and iron ore, but anyhow, anyhow, yeah, but how to go from where we are today to I just can't see. Yeah, there's been these efficiencies that have been put together. Yeah, I can kind of see how we could kind of move toward a lot of the other things that you've talked about. And this one, it's like going from this the setup that we have to things not being ordered on Amazon and not being delivered to your house, and that there be the corner store is where you go to get your yeah, you know what I mean? There must be a different something we haven't thought of yet, that would still be. Yeah, I mean, so much of corporation industry has kind of worked its way into. I don't know how that all gets disassembled, or it's just with whatever is within your county or within your state, or yeah. And I mean, what the Amish are doing, it's within that. But they still go out of their communities, and they do bring things back in. So it's not, and they are interacting with, uh, there's aspects of those things that, anyhow, that's my comment. I'm still in, inquiry on this one.
Um, yes, the Amish will use various technologies at various times. Um, I found it really amazing that they use cell phones. Um, they don't bring them in their house. They actually build these little phone booths outside their door. So if they get a phone call, they will walk out their door and walk into the phone booth and not interact with the family anymore. And they'll take the call and then they will come back. Um, but they ride around in horses and buggies, and they have pants without zippers in them. That's takes some getting used to. Um, but our our how did we get from um, milk delivery from a local farm delivered to your door? I remember the milkman would come and put the milk, the glass jars of milk on your front step, and then would take away the empties to fill them up again. This an amazingly efficient system, but it got supersized because someone wanted more money. They didn't want 10 cows. They wanted 100 cows. They wanted 1,000 cows. And they didn't want to pay anybody to milk those cows, so they created milking machines. And just like what we said about the healthcare system, the milk delivery system, the steel delivery system has one goal, and that is to make more money for people who already have too much money. That's the goal. Um, if we change the goal, we can be living um, in a very conscious system in almost no time flat. But we can't change the goal without changing what's in our consciousness. And we've got this stuff in our consciousness that says more is better, even at the expense of my uh, at the expense of my health, at the expense of my sanity, at the expense of everything. And you or someone is going to say, um, yes, but what about um, what about complex machineries? What about computers? You can't make computers the way that, with a smelting mill and um, getting, melting down this the semiconductors, etc. And the answer is no, you can't do it that way, but you can do it. And I'm trying to come up with another example for you really quickly here. Um, if you get the impression I spend all of my time um, um, looking at YouTube videos. Ah, here it is. Let me share this with you. So you can do, so that is the first one I showed you was brute force. Okay, I mean, melt the steel, lift the steel up, it's heavy, pour the steel. It's like this one is a little different. Okay. Um and they are rebuilding an engine. And this is complex stuff, you know, and you set these things wrong and it doesn't work anymore. So uh, take my word for it, because we're not going to spend all of the time. I'll put these two things in the goodie box and you can look at them on your own. Or I'm gonna move forward here. And that's a big engine. I don't know what this would be an engine to. I'm thinking, this is either a monster truck engine or maybe a track tractor engine or something. But I want to get to the part where, I mean, they're just sticking all the stuff back on. Let me get to the part where they actually start it up. Like, pour the juice in. Well, all sorts of juice they have to pour in. Um, and uh, good enough for Pakistan. um, and they just did precision engineering. Okay, and they're about to do it over again. Um, they just did precision engineering with hand tools. Okay, and so this is um, this is learned, and we can relearn this. So there's one thing, and then we're gonna end for the day. Um, I was at the Oregon Country Fair. If you've been in Oregon, you know about the country fair. And if you're not in Oregon, I'm not going to explain it to you right now. There's actually if you go on YouTube and put in Oregon Country Fair, there's an hour-long documentary on it, which is really good. And it was really amazing that they were able to put the information up there without showing any naked bodies. When you go to Oregon Country Fair, there's an awful lot of naked bodies there. Um, which doesn't, well, okay, this has nothing to do with what I was about to say. Um, but I was asked to speak at the Oregon Country Fair, and I had never been before. And I didn't know what to expect. And it was like one of the things they say to speakers, if you as a speaker are nervous, you should imagine your audience naked. And I looked in my audience and I said, I don't have to imagine it. Half of these people are naked. And how does that help anything? I'd say for a good half of the people that were there, if I was a cop, I'd give them a ticket for something. Yes, yeah. Um, I would just say, like, could you please put some more clothes back on? You are not a healthy specimen of humanity here. Anyway, um, while I was at the country's fair, I saw um, one of the biggest exhibits. Hundreds of people were standing around watching this guy make fire. And he had, flints and he had dried stuff. That's the technical name for it is stuff. And he was striking the flint and getting a spark and then he'd blow on it and then he'd take that and put it on something. And I'm watching him, but I'm also watching the 100 people watching him. There was something primordial, elemental about the fact that everybody there probably had lighters in their pockets or matches or whatever. We have gotten so far away from our ability to make fire. We gotten far away from the essence of our lives. The number of people who can't make dinner. What we call food in the supermarket now is just basically the packaged stuff that you get from a restaurant. They figured out how to package it up, and you pour it out, you throw it in your microwave oven, and you called yourself cooking dinner. Um, and well, when I'm done here and with my next Zoom appointment, I'm going to make pancakes from scratch. It's not rocket science. It's that we can get closer to um, what we can do, and it fills a void that's in our hearts to do that, and to recognize that we're doing that. Now, we look at the guys who are rebuilding an engine by, you know, melting some steel and rebuilding the engine from scratch. You say, oh, they're primitive. But when our electricity goes off, we're going to be looking around for primitive people. Um, and we're going to hope and pray that we can do things like um, feed ourselves, like where's your water come from and how do you purify water without a multi-billion-dollar water purification plant? How do you purify water? You know, half the world knows how to do that, and we don't live in that half. Um, um, Okay. I think it's time for me to do my beauty queen wave. And we will talk again. Oh, I said I was going to put this uh shorts in goodie box. So now that I've written that down, it's more likely that it's actually going to get there. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you for your participation. I look for, oh, didn't mention the new uh, workshops that I've got planned. Let's see if I can dig this up real quick. Um, I've got four workshops coming up in a couple of weeks. On the 19th and 20th, the week of 19th and 20th, um, we're going to continue what we just started, how to talk to others about our societal transformation. And then on the 20th, it's how to practice inclusivity in social situations. The next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about our physics. The how do we, as we are doing holonic consciousness, the consciousness of all living beings. And remember from the beginning, everything is alive, everything is conscious. How do we deal with that? Um, and then that's on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, it's like we know the earth is going to be going through changes. We've been all of our wisdom keepers have been predicting this time. We see what's happening with the solar flares. We have a decent one going on right now. Solar flare, you can never see them. We can walk outside in the middle of an X-class solar flare and you won't feel a thing. Um, you may see electrical wires melting, but your phone in your pocket may melt, but you won't see a thing. Um, um, how do we flow with these corrections that the earth is going to um, have so that she can rebalance ourselves and get us off of her back? Um, so we'll talk about that. And as usual, I shouldn't say as I hope will become usual, the workshops won't be charged for if enough people can make the donations to keep it going. Um, if you're interested, I need you to register for it. And I am going to figure out the registration hopefully before tomorrow, and it'll go the registration for the four workshops will start then. Okay. I look forward to talking to you next week, if not earlier, for